Hello everyone, my name is Marsh, and today's going to be my review for episode 6 of The Wheel of Time, season 2. Let's jump into it. So, season 2, episode 6, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review slash discussion. If you haven't seen the episode, feel free to click off and come back to this video. But, other than that, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you end up liking the video. And let's go ahead and get started. So, we'll start with some pros, some cons, what I liked, what I didn't like, and we'll take it from there. So to start out with a positive, let's go ahead and talk about Egwene. I liked her training, I guess, as a Damane, or her torture, depending what culture you're taking the point of view from. But the aspect that they showed her, what they're teaching, how they're doing the like suffering and everything. There's a few like CGI moments where it's like, okay, but it's like, how many times can an actor really like writhe in pain to a mystical, magical force coming through a Terangreal? So it's kind of hard to act like that. But I think she's doing a decent enough job, and sometimes the special effects are a little wonky, but overall I like the portrayal of what they're doing with the Damane and how they're handling her training, I guess, in this situation. I even like the actor that they have and everything they're doing at the end, where she pours out the water after it's successful, and how they're like showing that they view Damane as a pet in a way. So I think they're doing a decent job when it comes to that. One thing I did wish they do was like give her another name. I guess they don't want to confuse like non-book readers, I guess, by having the Rena name her a different name. But it'd been nice if after she said Egwene, she's like, "Oh, I don't like that name. We'll call you this." I mean, she did kind of refer to it, but she kept Egwene, which I think she should have changed it. Other than that, though, that's pretty much it for the Egwene stuff. Let's jump to another storyline, and we'll go through it. Let's talk about Rand and Lanfear, where that started out. So I like the dream sequence with them talking. We get some background. We get like an introduction to her attachment to Lews Therin, and we see like what the play is going to be between them. They make some sort of deal that we don't really know. She also like pushes Rand against Moiraine, which is obvious as to why that happened. But I mean, the one thing I didn't like is when he woke up, the scene was kind of badly like shot slash acted when Rand woke back up. I don't know. It seemed like they went in post. Like if you notice when Rand was leaving the room, she says something to him, and they do a shot behind her head, and her mouth isn't moving, and it seemed like her voice was added after the fact to where she's like, "Oh, but she's a Forsaken Rand," or something like that. It was just really awkward how it was shot overall. I didn't like that. But the motive behind Lanfear I really like. I think that's one of the better things they're doing, is the motives behind season 2 and the enemies and the villains and what they're trying to do, essentially. Or giving them a nefarious side, essentially. Not necessarily what they're trying to do, because we don't know exactly outside of Serve the Dark Lord, but they're making them more nefarious and evil. Going off that, since we're already with Moiraine, though, I don't get what they're doing with Moiraine. I was fine with it for a second, and then they were like showing she's ruthless, she's gonna protect Rand, do what she will, and then after Rand left, she like kind of is like turning on her family, and she spent half the episode writing a letter, and she's just being like a jerk all the way around. I guess they're giving her character development, making her a flawed character, but it's just, I want to push the story forward. I don't know. It feels like she's just stuck in a rut with stuff that's not necessary, as we'll see later. And I'll talk about, well, we're already there, so we'll talk about my other negative, which is Lan again. The Lan storyline, they're all of a sudden treating him as like a captive. I could have missed it in the previous episodes, but I didn't remember him being treated as a captive with Alanna and her warders. But then when he tries to leave at night to find the Amyrlin, they like threaten to kill him. They're gonna get in a fight and do all these things, and it's like, what's going on here? I don't know. It was kind of out of nowhere and random, and I didn't really like it, especially him randomly meeting the Amyrlin on the. It's just all weird with it. I'll leave it at that. But we'll go back to a positive. We have I don't know if it's a positive, but something I'm just okay with, the storyline with Nynaeve and Elaine stuck in this house. It's there. I It was just okay for me this episode. They didn't really do much. I guess they're learning about the callers, which is good. But the fact that they're trying to like channel to open it, I think that's a flaw the TV show's bringing, because the whole point in the callers in the book is like they're a class. You can take them off physically. It's just the person wearing it can't take it off. So it's kind of weird that they're doing it that way. I mean, it works out in the end because then they do like the thing where Nynaeve embraces and then sends a flare, and then the other warder has to come and like, or the Seanchan come and like try to kill the Aes Sedai lady and do all that. And that was dramatic, and we get to see how the collar like connects in their universe to the neck and everything. And why is the only Damane they run around with that one little blonde girl? I feel like that's the only one they use for all the scenes. Can we get some variety here? There has to be more Damane that are tracking down people in Falm. Like, they can't just have like this one little blonde girl and everyone else is just like in the kennels. But anyways, it was all okay. I like certain parts of it. I like the development between Nynaeve and Elaine, where they're fighting with each other, because that's how they are in the books, and the girls are constantly yelling at each other and yelling at Nynaeve, and they're constantly going back and forth. And a lot of it, and we also get the reveal of the Black Aja and the reaction to it, and how you see like the Aes Sedai don't talk about it, and they don't think it's a real thing, and the Aes Sedai is shocked. Talking about Black Aja, we have Liandrin. We're getting more development for her. Apparently, she was like abused as a child and stuff, and I don't know, this was never in any of the books. It's not, I mean, it's fine, they're making her a deeper character. The part I loved about the scene was actually Lanfear showing the ruthlessness of the Forsaken, showing up, killing her son, doing all that. That's something that they would definitely do, and it just shows you that you don't mess with them, and the Dark Friends that are working for them don't get any chances, and they have to do as they're told. And she kills Liandrin's son. And so I really like how they're portraying the Forsaken, like I mentioned before. Overall, this episode was okay for me. I feel like the episodes were constantly getting better, better, better. This one I feel like took a slight step back. We'll go into more negatives, but it's still just okay. Like a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10. It did take a step back from the last, since episode 3, I would say. But to go into another thing I didn't really like that they were doing is this whole Amyrlin storyline in Cairhien, because Lan revealed the Dragon Reborn to Alanna, and then Alanna revealed it to the Amyrlin. Amyrlin's going to Cairhien and meeting with Moiraine with 14 other like Aes Sedai to, usually that's to Gentle, the Dragon Reborn. The thing I don't like about it is Siuan doing that in the first place, because the whole point of Siuan is she's a blue Aja at heart, and she's trying to help the Dragon Reborn. So it's weird that she's doing that and bringing all these people. And I mean, it makes sense in the context of the book The Great Hunt, which is just bringing up another issue of why they changed it and why they changed the beginning. Because in the beginning of Great Hunt, they basically went through this when they were after the Eye of the World. They had the whole group together. The Amyrlin was there, met Egwene, Nynaeve, all of them, and the group separated from there. And she knew about the Dragon Reborn, but they kind of kept it a secret for a while until like it couldn't be kept anymore. And so the fact that she's going to Cairhien now to try to get Rand and he's leaving, it's just unnecessary when it could have been at the beginning of the season in a more complete way. That's my main gripe with that whole thing that they're doing there. We'll see what they do with it. I just don't understand it. It's just unnecessary plot wise. So we'll see what happens. But it is what it is. Okay. Anyways, let's get over to Min and Mat. I don't like what they're doing with Min being coerced by a dark friend to get rid of her thing. It's a different take on her visions, I know, where she wants to get rid of them. She views them as a curse and not a blessing. And I mean, that's one way to look at it, but it's something Min would never do. She wouldn't turn to the dark. She wouldn't work for the dark. She wouldn't do anything. They're putting the character in a desperate position to do that, but at what avail? And then she's like, and then also like, we get Mat. Everything's just played like so weirdly. Like Mat meets Rand, and then abandons Rand, and Rand has to leave, and he abandons Rand obviously because he doesn't want to kill him because he's his friend. But I was like, okay, perfect. We can get them together. They can go to Tolman Head or Falm, and they can help Egwene as because Rand saw Egwene. And so we're moving along the story. We're gonna keep going with it, but I just don't understand what they're doing with Matt. He's back to this jolly thing. Is the like dagger just not a thing anymore? I guess they just like erased that, and so he's not gonna be crazy dagger Matt. I guess they're just skipping out on all of that and doing whatever. It's just the plots don't make sense with what they're doing yet. Hopefully it builds and it's like cohesive by the end of the season, but right now it's just like, why? I get why they did it with Matt because they wanted to have this emotional scene where he has to abandon Rand, his best friend, because otherwise he's going to kill him, and Min showed him this. So I get why they're doing it, but it's like, it's just a lot of this stuff is unnecessary because there's other emotional beats that could have taken place. For the most part, that's it for the episode. There's obviously stuff I'm missing out on, leaving out. I'm not going to go into an hour-long detail of it, but it was a step back from the previous episodes. I'm still interested to see where the season goes. Still better than season 1 overall, but we'll see what happens going forward. But this episode was like a 6 out of 10 for me, maybe a 7. Depends what scale you're looking on. There's just a lot of unnecessary stuff and a lot of plot lines where they just stop moving and they stop the momentum that was there from previous episodes, or they're just like, they feel unnecessary. We'll see what happens though. Let me know how you felt about it in the comments down below though. What did you like? What did you not like? Feel free to leave a like and subscribe on the video. Other than that though, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.